To fap or not to fap? That is the question. In this video, we're going to discuss whether you should watch porn or stop watching porn, what are the effects of watching porn, how does porn affect you when it comes to talking to women and your seduction skills and your sexual performance and all that great stuff. So, why am I experienced in this? I've been a dating coach for over 10 years now, and I have coached hundreds of clients, and so I have spoken to a lot of men who have gone through porn addiction or struggled with porn. So I've been in a lot of conversations with real men just like you who are going through this, this struggle or this, trying to figure this thing out. Now, I will say, I have not gone into the deep scientific research of this. So what I'm going to speak from is my experience, both personal experience, as well as what I've gathered from talking to my clients and my viewers on my YouTube channel. So, first of all, I want you to know that if you are struggling with watching porn, you are not alone. In fact, I have been consistently surprised to realize that a very high percentage of men who come to me who have trouble attracting women, also a high percentage of them have a problem with porn. Okay? So the first thing about this conversation is let's take away the shame around masturbation and watching porn. Okay? Because that's just an extra pressure you're putting on yourself that, quite frankly, is unnecessary. Here's the way I think of it. I'm a man, therefore I masturbate. Okay? I'm a man, therefore I masturbate. If you're a guy, of course you're gonna masturbate. Of course you're gonna, it's just like a natural thing to do. I wish someone had told me that when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, because I used to masturbate and feel tremendous shame at the same time. And that was all completely unnecessary. Quite the contrary, I want you to celebrate your virility. I want you to celebrate the fact that you have such a high sex drive that you feel the need to masturbate. You feel that urge. That's a great sign that you are a healthy, virile male. So celebrate that testosterone that's going through your body. That is a blessing. Okay? So, now to the porn thing. I would also say if you watch porn, don't feel ashamed like, oh, I'm such a bad person, I watch porn. Again, you're a guy. Of course you would like to watch porn. Of course you'd like to watch hot chicks having sex, naked girls, all that. Of course. Okay? So the first part of this conversation is let's just agree that this is natural. It's natural. You're a guy. Of course you're going to masturbate. Of course you're going to, take the opportunity to see hot chicks on video. Duh. Okay? It's just natural. Now, with that being said, let's now talk about this whole debate, this whole, is it good, is it bad, should I stop, whatever. There are generally a few different schools of thought. There is the no-fap school of thought. And again, I haven't gone into deep research of this because quite frankly, it doesn't interest me that much. But from what I gather, no-fap means they're totally against even masturbation, releasing your seed. And I assume they don't watch porn because then, obviously. So, there's that. And what I've gathered from those guys, and I'm not here to say one way is right or wrong, but in the end, I'm going to give you what philosophy I go by regarding masturbation, porn, all that stuff, ejaculation, all that stuff. But from what I've gathered from those guys, they're really, what they've expressed to me is they say, Jad, when I hold my seed in, when I do no fap, I feel more confident, I feel more aligned, I feel better generally. And when I release my seed, when I masturbate, when I ejaculate, I feel like, I'm down, I lost my drive, I lost my centeredness, I generally don't feel good. So this school of guys feel that when they do masturbate and ejaculate, afterwards they feel down, they feel, that less of a drive. So it's like a downer for them. So with that, they have come to the conclusion that no FAP is better and just, do that. Now, I don't know what their view is on, well, what if you're in a relationship? Then, how does that work? I'm assuming that they believe that you can have sex and ejaculate as long as it's with another person, then it's healthy, but don't do it alone. I'm having a crazy light go off back there, so let me just turn that off for a second. Okay, so now the next school of thought is kind of, I would say, my school of thought. So here's my take on masturbation, ejaculation, and porn. First of all, let's talk about porn in isolation. From what I've gathered, there's a great video called Your Brain on Porn. There are a lot of other videos. That's actually a pretty old video, so I'm assuming there are a lot of newer videos. But basically, studies show, and also evidence from my students, from what I've seen, is that porn just can cause a lot of psychological problems for you. It could eventually, there are some guys who can't get erections anymore because they've been watching porn, so it affects your sexual performance. I've also heard that if you watch a lot of porn, then even your sexual orientation and preferences start getting like the border starts getting mixed, and then you can start watching like other porn that you normally didn't think you were interested in, right? Because you're seeking novelty. So it just kind of messes with your brain a lot. And so again, because I'm not that interested in this topic, what I just tell my guys is, listen, man, research and studies and, evidence is proving pretty well that watching porn excessively messes you up mentally, emotionally, and even in terms of sexual performance. Another part that you need to take into account is that watching porn also can make you feel more anger towards women, and can also cause you to be more anxious and therefore cause more social anxiety. Okay? So if you're watching a lot of porn, if you have a porn addiction, then chances are a lot higher that when you're around women, you have this undercurrent of resentment or hatred or anger, and you have more of an anxiety, this social anxiety, right? Now, if you want to be good with women, which is what my channel is about, we know that your objective is to be relaxed and calm around women. That's one of the core fundamental things. You got to be relaxed around women. Well, if you're watching porn and that's making you anxious around women, and then you're anxious around women, then you're not getting the results you want with women, so then you're staying single. So then because you're single, you're frustrated, you go watch porn, you get more frustrated, you get more anxiety, you try again, and you get into this negative cycle. You see? So porn in isolation, what I say to my guys is, if you have a history of having a problem with porn, being addicted to porn, and let's qualify, what does addicted to porn mean? I think if you're watching porn more than 3 times a week, you're addicted, okay? Some guys have told me I'm not addicted, and then I asked them how often do you watch porn, and they told me every day. And I'm like, you're pretty much addicted, buddy, okay? So more than 3 days a week, even 3 days a week maybe, again, I haven't gone into the scientific part of this, but I would put my bet that you're addicted if you're watching it that frequently. So what I would say to guys who are, addicted to porn, watching porn a lot, is my recommendation is stop the porn, okay? Again, I'm not a specialist in this, so you're going to have to go and research how to get over porn addiction, how to stop, all that stuff, right? Maybe you have to minimize from 4 days a week to 1 day a week, and then from there, but again, that's not my specialty, so I won't get into that, right? But my recommendation, because of the negative side effects that we've mentioned, if you have a porn addiction, if you're watching porn 3-4 times plus per week, I would say you got to stop it, okay? And now, how do we connect this with here's my approach. So I tell guys, look, stop the porn, but if you want to continue to masturbate using your imagination only, okay, do that. Okay? So now the no fap guys are going to be, attacking me on the comments, but just hear me out. Okay? I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer here. Okay? Now, watching porn while masturbating, we're saying that's harmful when you watch a lot of porn. Now, here's another side note. Personally, for me, I watch porn once or twice a month, and my sessions probably won't, it's rare that they would go over, let's say 30 minutes, maybe like 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, rarely 45, but let's say I watch porn once or twice a month, the sessions are between 20 and 30 minutes, okay? I haven't had a history of having a problem with porn, so for me personally, I've observed myself and I haven't seen any negative side effects. Therefore, for me, I watch porn once or twice a month, and for me it's fine. And what I say to guys is that if you're similar to me and it's just like an occasional thing, short sessions, okay, fine, it's all good, right? I know some of you may disagree. That's fine. That's totally fine, right? This is a personal thing. There's no right and wrong here. We're just exploring everything, and I'm bringing the conversation that I've had with hundreds of men here to you. Maybe not hundreds of men, but a lot of men, here to you, so you can get a more 3D perspective on this whole thing. So, what I recommend to guys who are addicted to porn is I say, okay, stop the porn and just use your imagination, but you can still masturbate, okay? So here's my logic on that. Porn, we don't know the full extent of the negative impact on porn, but we're seeing some really bad evidence, such as you can't get erections, you get confused with your sexual orientation. Maybe that's not a bad one, I'll leave that one aside. But feel free to like whatever you like. I'm all for it, whatever your sexual orientation is, but it may confuse you, okay? Just be aware of that. And it will cause you dark feelings of maybe anger, resentment towards women, and objectification of women. So you'll have trouble relating to them because you're, and then, the social anxiety. I don't want to repeat myself. That's why I'm cutting myself off. So stop the porn and just masturbate, okay? Now, if you want to masturbate every day, but just using your imagination, by all means. I don't think again, I've observed myself, and again, for myself, I can masturbate very frequently and it doesn't feel bad. When I ejaculate, it doesn't feel bad. It's not like, oh, it's the end of the world and now I'm depressed and I don't have my drive. I don't experience that personally. So, for you, what I would recommend is, stop the porn for sure, okay, or greatly minimize it, like once a week or something. Masturbate using your imagination only, okay? And then when you ejaculate, just start observing, how do I feel? How do I feel over the, right after, the day after, the general week? And then maybe you're someone who's like me, where it's like, yeah, I masturbate, I ejaculate, no problem, feel normal. Fine, now you can do that. You got rid of the porn thing. And I personally don't think that masturbation on its own is harmful. Again, I'm only speaking from personal experience, okay? But the porn is harmful. So if you have, I think it's hard to eliminate porn and masturbation at the same time. So work on one. Get rid of the porn, use your imagination, and then masturbate using your imagination. Again, for me, hasn't been harmful. It's just normal, right? And then afterwards, observe yourself. If you're like me and you feel like, okay, fine, well, now you can masturbate, have a good time with your imagination, and you're all good. Or if you feel drained and all this other stuff, then perhaps you can explore no fap. Finally, I think I will give my opinion on no fap. Again, I have not studied this deeply in any way, shape, or form. This is just me with my bro advice, my personal advice. My impression about no fap and about anything that's extreme is that I don't believe truth is in the extremes, okay? I don't think we were born and made to like never fap. Okay, I think that's unnatural. So maybe you want to minimize, but not completely be dogmatic about, oh, I can never masturbate, it's evil, right? And again, maybe I don't want to misrepresent the no-fap community. So I may be saying some things wrong in this video. I apologize. It's due to my own ignorance because I didn't do my research, okay? But all I'm telling you is if you go into the no-fap universe, give yourself that space that maybe there are some people in there that are dogmatic about it and say absolutely never. And if you bust your seed, then the world ends. Maybe that's not true. Ask yourself, check in with yourself. So, to fap or not to fap? Conclusion, number one, I would say, in a perfect world, eliminate porn completely. Second best option, watch porn very occasionally, like I do. But porn is dangerous. You gotta know that. And then, do you masturbate or not? Do a test with yourself. Observe yourself. You can even like track it on paper for a week or two, see how you feel, and then go from there. Don't be dogmatic with the no-fap thing. Discover what's best for you instead of just listening to what other people tell you is their truth. Our bodies are very different and everybody experiences this in a different way. So I believe it requires some personal research from each man. So do your own research, come to your own conclusions. And of course, drop the comments, drop some advice, recommend some resources, and correct me anywhere you'd like to correct me. I think it's important to have this conversation in a shame-free way because there's no shame around this. Okay, there's no shame around this. Stop being ashamed. It's an issue. Work on the issue. Solve the issue. That's all it is. But in my opinion, masturbation is like the most natural thing a dude can do. So that's it. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. I'll see you in the next.